In this lecture, we're doing something amazing. We are implementing a follow camera using Cinemachine so that we can follow our player as it moves around in our world. Let's get started. We currently have a camera in our scene, but it doesn't move when our player moves. So if I click on play, you can see moving player, it can easily go off the screen. What we can do is implement the most amazing thing in Unity, which is called Cinemachine. What is Cinemachine? Cinemachine is a powerful Unity package that allows us to manage multiple cameras in our scene if we want to do that. And importantly, it easily allows us to create rules for our cameras so that we don't have to do a whole bunch of programming and coding and figuring out like we did in the olden days back when we had to do all this ourselves. Now we get it for free within Unity, which is fantastic. So there's a few different aspects of Cinemachine. First of all, we have a Cinemachine brain, which sits right on top of our main camera. It figures out what the player should see. So the brain is doing the calculations and figuring out and saying what you should see. And then we can have a number of virtual cameras that feed into the brain. And the brain says, okay, camera 2, you're on. Okay, camera 3. Wait, now it's camera 1. And why would we want multiple cameras? Well, maybe you want a camera angle for when you're running, a camera angle for where you're jumping out of the way, a camera angle for when you're running through the undergrowth, a camera angle for when you've got a cutscene, and so on. So we can manage all those virtual cameras using our brain. For this project, we're just going to be using one virtual camera, so we won't need to worry about switching between 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So up here where it says 2, because the brain is saying show camera 2, for us it's always just going to show the one camera we're using. This is the flow we're going to go through in this lecture. If you're feeling brave or you've done this before, you can go through the list and do this yourself, or you can refer back to this in the future if you like. The first step is to install Cinemachine from the package manager. Why does Unity have a package manager? There's so many things that can be added into Unity. If it added all of these things when you first downloaded Unity, it would be gigantic and people wouldn't be happy about that. So it gives you a lighter version of Unity and says, oh, you would like to use this? Well, then go to the package manager and you can download it and install it. Then we're going to add a virtual camera. Then we're going to make sure the Cinemachine brain component has been added to the main camera. We're going to point the virtual camera to follow the player. So good. And then we're going to tune the distance, rotation, damping, etc. to have it look the way that we want it to look for our particular game. So let's jump back over into Unity. What I'm going to do first of all, just for a bit of fun, is create 1 or 2 obstacles in the world, just so we've got some points of reference in our world to use as anchors. So we're not just sort of flying around in this empty big plane. So I'll right-click, 3D object, create a cube. Just move that over to the side somewhere. I'm going to hit R to scale. Make it nice and big, move it down to there. Just sort of a building type thing, a couple of building type things. These are just placeholder. I'm going to get rid of these when I do my proper level. I'm going to hit Control D and just move that down a little bit. And then let's see, Control D to duplicate and then move it down here. Maybe just scale it a tiny bit so it looks a little different so I know what direction I'm facing. And then one more, Control D to duplicate another time, and we'll change the scaling on this a little bit more, make it taller and skinnier, just so it's looking a bit different. So if I'm thinking, where am I in the world? As I look around, I can see these various different landmarks that will give me clues on where it is that I am in the world. Maybe we'll rotate this a little bit. How's that? Rotate that one, and that one's fine. That one's fine. Okay, just to get some different flavor in there. And we'll leave them named as cube for now. We'll tidy that up later on. Next up is all about Cinemachine. So we'll head up to Window, and we'll find Package Manager. That might have already been placed somewhere in your UI layout, but if not, we go up to Window, Package Manager, and my Package Manager is floating. Yours might be docked somewhere. If it's docked, you can pop it out if you like. Now, you can see within the project, we've already got a number of packages installed. So what we need to do is click on Unity Registry. That will show us all the packages that we can access and scroll through. You can see there's a ton of them. You can scroll to find Cinemachine, or you can search for Cinemachine. That will show us under Packages, Cinemachine. Click on that, you see an Install button somewhere, probably in the top right. Click on Install. It should be relatively quick to install. So give it a moment, let it recompile and do all the things it needs to do. And once it's finished doing that, we can X out of the project manager, or we can dock it if you want to come back to it easily again. I'll just hit the X to get rid of that. Now we have Cinemachine. If you want to know, has that definitely installed? Under the project directory, you'll see packages. You can scroll down and find Cinemachine, and that will have all of the code and the aspects and the editors and the things that we need to make Cinemachine work. How do we add something into our scene? Well, we can right-click in the hierarchy, look for Cinemachine, and then we will add a Cinemachine camera. Cinemachine camera is now in our hierarchy. I'm just going to drag that underneath main camera, not on top of main camera. That will do something different. Just underneath main camera, just so they're up close to each other so that you can see on my hierarchy here these two things. So the main camera is literally what the player sees. You can only have one thing the player sees because they've only got one screen they're looking at. Well, they might have two monitors, but anyway, you know what I mean. There's only one game that we're playing at the moment. And on the main camera, we can see if we scroll down, there is a nice, big, juicy Cinemachine brain, which is going to control all these things. Currently, it's just got one camera. So where it says live camera, it's showing us our Cinemachine camera because we've only got one Cinemachine camera. Perfect. Now this Cinemachine camera, if we click on that, I'm going to scroll out a little bit. You can see it's placed it in our world. All good. That's what we will actually be looking through, that our brain will be tapping into our Cinemachine brain. Now, while clicked on Cinemachine camera, you see over in the inspector, we've got a whole bunch of things that we can mess around with. And the most important thing for now is that we point the camera towards our player so that when the player moves around, the camera also moves around. And we do that by finding tracking target. And you see currently it's none. I can click on the little selector box and then find my dodgy the player, double click. I could have also grabbed dodgy the player and just dragged that game object into this placement as well. That's two ways of doing that. Now we're pointing towards the player. We need to change the position of the camera based upon something. So we've said track the player, but also we want to move our position. We do that by under procedural components, position control. You can play around with these to see what happens. So for example, if you do a hard lock to target, oh, it's right on top of the target. I don't think that's what we want. It's a little bit too intimate. We can do a follow. And that's probably what we want. It's going to follow around the camera. We can also do a third-person follow. See how that looks? Looks pretty good. It's a little bit closer than we want, but it's an interesting setting. I'm just going to do a straight-up follow, and then we'll tune it ourselves. And you can see the camera is now in the world. What happens if we hit play, actually? I haven't done this. Click play, and then as we move, whoo, the camera moves. That's so good. As we move towards the camera, it moves away. Okay, the next thing I'll do is change rotation control. Currently, there's no rotation, but I want my camera to be up in the sky a little bit. So when I'm selected on the camera, try to move it up. It's like, I'm not going to let you. You're fixed. You're stuck. You've got to stay here. So we need to use these controls now to move the camera around. Rotation control. We can play around with these once again, see what works for you. I'm going to go to hard look at. So basically it says, look at the player no matter where you are. From a rotation point of view, it's not so helpful just yet. Again, I can't just drag and move it up, but what I want to do is move it up. So I'll scroll all the way down and you can see we've got Cinemachine follow and Cinemachine hard look at. I'm going to change my follow offset on the Y axis because I want to move it up in the air. And as you see, moving up in the air, it stays focused on where the player is. It keeps it right in the middle because the rotation changes as I move up, which is very cool. I can also change the follow offset. So if I scroll in and out on that Z value there, let me see if I can get that on the screen. The Z or Z value, I said on the Z value, I can get closer, I can get further away. So there's a little bit of manipulation, but you can see what that's doing is it's not just saying get closer to the player, it's saying move on the Z axis. And as it does that, move, it's getting right above it. So if you want a top-down game, that could be the way to do it. But I don't want that. I want kind of this 45-degree type angle, maybe even a little bit lower in the world so I can see more off in the distance than I can see towards me. Not exactly sure on that, maybe a little bit more 45. I can also point the camera a little bit higher or a little bit lower if I want to change this hard look at offset. It doesn't have to be exactly on the player. It can be looking above the player's head or further off into the distance. So I'm going to tweak that just a little bit for now. I haven't finished my game, so I'll come back to this later on when we do have the game in there. You can see as I move, there's a little bit of a delay. I can move away from the camera and it takes a little bit of time to catch up, which is referred to as dampening. Dampening, we have settings down here. Let's just change the X dampening to 0 and see what happens when I move left and right. It moves exactly at the same time as me. If I put it up to something ridiculous, how far can I go? I don't know, we'll see 17. I can move a long way and the camera slowly catches up. So that's what dampening is, whether you have it a softer setting or a firmer setting. Put mine to 0.1 and see how that feels. I didn't like the rotation too much. So if I put it at 0.1, you can see there's a little bit of drift on it, but it stays mostly accurate to where we are. So that's another number that we can play around with, maybe a 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. That's okay for now. The distance is okay for now. These are the things we can tune later on. Remember, I was in play mode. I hit stop. All my numbers go away, and it was 0.2, 0.2, 0.2 I had under my position dampening Just return this to 0 so it looks nice and tidy. There we go. We've got a Cinemachine follow camera. It was so easy. You can use Cinemachine in all of your games where you have a player running around. There's so much power, and this is just the first step to figuring out all the greatness you can do with Cinemachine. Good stuff. I'll see you in the next lecture.